In this unit on relationships, we're going to dive into the content of Keep Your Love On by Danny Silk. Now, it's important for you to know in this study, we did not produce this book. So if you have any questions about anything that you read, please come to one of the ministry staff and we'd be happy to walk you through Grace Church's position on that content. As we look at this book, we're going to talk about three aspects: communication, connection, and boundaries. These are important in our relationships and building healthy relationships. You know, when conflict happens, we need to recognize that there's a common enemy, that it's not something that we see each other as being the enemy, but that we have a common enemy and we are able to attack the issue together rather than attacking each other. We don't just try to resolve the conflict, but we move towards connection, greater connection with each other first. In communication, when setting a goal of communication in our home and our workplace and our friendships, we want to set one of understanding, not agreement, and one of greater connection with each other in our relationships. When you hear the word boundaries, sometimes it is like fingernails down a chalkboard. But in this unit, we're going to talk about setting limits so that we aren't drained of all the good that's in us, and we have good left to give and good left in our energy even to be able to connect with the important people in our life. As we're looking at these aspects, it's important for us to know, no matter what hat we're wearing, whether we're the parent, the spouse, the friend, the coworker, any type of a relationship, these tools and principles can help you in growing in healthy relationships with each other. You know, many times we think we're communicating love and value to each other, but instead we aren't actually speaking that person's love language. So they aren't receiving the message, I love you and I value you, because they aren't hearing it. It's important that we learn how people in our lives receive the message of I love you and I value you, as well as how we send and receive those messages ourselves. In the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, he describes 5 categories of behavior that we use to send and receive messages of love. And in those, they are physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and words of affirmation. And within those messages, if we are always sending and receiving messages, we'll know what message to send to certain people in our life more frequently than others, so they know where we are in our relationship with them. Now, please keep in mind as we go in through this unit and we look at these principles and those types of things, that whether your love tank is being filled every day or whether it's not being filled, that it's the right thing to do in every relationship to be Christ-like to one another. And it's important for you to communicate the way you receive love, but you cannot demand it. It is up to them to make the choice whether to communicate to you in the way that you receive those messages more than others. Well, let's talk about these 5 just real briefly. In the area of physical touch, you know, when you're a physical touch person and somebody is giving you a genuine handshake, a genuine hug, maybe your son just comes up and holds your hand, or your daughter comes up and, you know, touches your face or something, it's just genuine, then that fills you, your love tank up. It makes you know that they care about me, they are loved. That's how you receive love. Now, it's important to remember when you are giving those messages to a physical touch person, that it's healthy and respectful. It's offered genuinely. That handshake is genuine. It says, I love you, I value you, and I care about you. When we talk about acts of service, these are intentional acts of kindness. You know, an acts of service person is constantly just surveying their surroundings. They are looking at what needs to be done. Why? Because they feel the responsibility to make sure those things are done at all times. And so with that, as if you are speaking love and value to an acts of service person, if you'll intentionally look around and see how you can serve them in a practical way, they're going to be elated. They're going to feel such value by you and such importance. It needs to be offered as a free act of intention rather than out of coercion. For instance, if somebody has asked you to do this, that's not a free act. It's something that you see on the front end versus having it to be requested. When we talk about receiving gifts, a lot of people have that in their mind that I have to go buy something. I have to go buy something big. That is not what receiving gifts is. Receiving gifts is a gift that you give to somebody that says, I know you. I've been paying attention to you. I get you. For instance, if you've got a friend or a family member that doesn't like chocolate, buying them chocolate and bringing it home isn't going to really say, I get you and I know you. I know what you enjoy and what you like. And so it's important as you get to know each other and you get to know yourself, that you know what speaks love and value, and you realize that it has nothing to do with the cost. You could do a picture collage for somebody or give them a coupon. I'm going to do the dishes tonight, something like that. When we talk about quality time, this love language, this quality time person feels loved and valued when you find them interesting. But not just you find them interesting, but the fruit of that is that you want to spend time with them because you find them interesting. Let me be clear on this. Quality time is not quantity of time. If you like to watch baseball and you have a son that has quality time and he joins you on the couch, but he hates baseball, don't think that that's going to speak love and value to him. It may, but it may not. But going out and playing a game of one-on-one basketball might be what speaks love and value to your son. It's important that as a words of affirmation, if you have words of affirmation, that you are receiving those messages of I love you and I value you through simple, genuine, and honest words. And so if you have somebody that you're in relationship with that's words of affirmation, speaking to them something brief, something simple that just says, hey, I love and appreciate you, and this is why. That goes a lot further than saying I love and appreciate you, although we enjoy that as well. No matter what people are in your life, no matter what love language they use to give and to receive love, you need to know that being led by the Holy Spirit is so vital and so important because you can't go wrong. He created them. He knows them even better than they know themselves. So he, guiding you, can assist you with that in more ways than any person can. I'm sure your discussion is going to be great because it's a lot of fun to talk about how each person receives love, they're wired, what gives them fulfillment. And so I encourage you, just be open and share. Nobody sends and receives love in a wrong way when it's led by God.